Welcome to episode 41 of Ask Self Belief Chief. Send in your questions to hashtag selfbeliefchief. The question today is, how do I stop the lies I'm telling myself? How do I stop the lies that I'm telling myself? How do I stop those inner voices, those inner demons, destroying or debilitating me and what I'm able to do? And it's a really good question. Thank you. I got this question from Instagram from @Vashidora, so VARSHIDORA, if you want to follow. So thank you very much for the question. Again, usually send in your questions. How do I stop the lies I'm telling myself? Now, this is my area. This is my area. I wrote a book called Thinking Lies, Learning How to Believe in Yourself. And it was about when I was 6-7 years old, I diagnosed myself possibly with something called thinking lies. Now, I wonder if any of you have heard of thinking lies. I guess not, because I made this shit up, right? Thinking lies was a way to explain this sort of mental distrust and lack of belief in myself. And just made up stuff in my head because I was just unsure of what I had and hadn't done. So, for example, whether I'd brushed my teeth in the morning, I'd brush my teeth, but then I would tell myself that I hadn't for whatever reason. I would concern myself about things like, I know one day I was stood at the top of the stairs and I had to go and tell my parents something that would change the way they saw me. So I started walking down the stairs. I could smell the varnish on the banister, so I knew they were up because they just cleaned the house. I walk into the breakfast room and I'm smaller than them whilst they're still sat down. I go, Mum, Dad, I've got something to tell you. And they said, what is it, son? And I said, I think I've put some nails in your bed. They run up the stairs, whip off the duvet. Now, of course, I've not put any nails in their bed. I'm not crazy. But that was the sort of thing that Thinking Lies was. It was just random stuff that I'd make up in my head that all of a sudden I thought could be true. And that probably, maybe not those examples, but resonates with you ever so slightly, in that we make up stuff in our head that just simply isn't true. We just don't recognise that we're making it up. When I got to university, my health psychology lecturer actually suggested it might have been the form of something called memory distrust syndrome, sort of severe case of sort of this lack of belief and lack of recollection of your own memories. Whatever it was essentially doubt, something we all experience. We've got a 2 million year old brain that's not designed to make us happy and succeed and achieve. It's designed to help us survive. So it has to point out dangers. It has to make us worry. It has to make us fearful so that we stay away from things that are potentially dangerous. However, the sorts of things that are potentially dangerous no longer exist, at least in our society and hopefully in your society. There's less danger around. So we focus on whether people like us, what's our social media presence, this, that, or the other. We have a completely different perception of what we worry and fear about, such small, minuscule things. And to be honest, we worry about these small, minuscule things so that we don't concern ourselves with the bigger problems that we might have to deal with in our life, the true fears that we have in our life. And there's only really a handful of things that you can genuinely be fearful about. The lies we tell ourselves can so easily become our truth. One man once said that if you tell a lie well enough, convincingly enough, and often enough, it can become the truth. That man was called Adolf Hitler, right? So the lies we tell ourselves, it can be so convincing if you tell yourself over and over and over, or if other people tell you over and over and over again. And that's a good lesson as well, because we somehow adopt lies really easily as if they become truths and then make them a part of who we are. If it's that easy, then maybe if you use those same tools, the same technique in terms of picking a lie and convincing yourself it is true, perhaps you could do something that you want to be the case, or you think is true about you, or something positive about you, and retell it over and run it through your mind over and over and over again, And this requires conscious effort as opposed to the subconscious effort it is to pick your brain to pick up the dangers. So think about how you lie to yourself, and then use those ideas and those strategies to change the narrative and do those same things but with something positive, something that will build you up. This is a little idea for you. Now, how do we deconstruct those lies? There's two more ideas I want to share with you. So there's one idea, which is that a guy called Dr. Steve Peters. I won't go into it in depth, but basically the idea is that if you take the thing that you're fearful for, take one idea that the reason, you're worried, you're fearful, you're sad, any negative emotion, pick that one idea, write it down. Then write down the 5 reasons why you're fearful or worry about it. 5 reasons, write those down. And then I want you to create a phrase or a sentence, picking a word from each of those 5 things, and make them into a little phrase that you can remember. And what I mean is, when you create that phrase, create a phrase that is the solution to all 5 problems. So those 5 phrases, you create a solution for each one of those. Okay, this isn't really a concern. Okay, actually, if I just do this. Okay, all I've got to do is think about this. Write a solution to each of those 5 things and make a phrase with those 5 things. Often the problem is that we forget what the solution is. But if we have something that we can remember that we know is a solution to all of those different aspects that contribute to that one thing that we worry about, then you can cut off the fear or the worry or the pain at the source before it builds momentum. And it's never usually the first hit, is it? It's that momentum that builds over time of that fear and that sadness that then makes it sort of manifest itself within us. So we can stop the momentum at the source. Whenever you feel that negative emotion, that you hit yourself with that phrase. I've got a phrase, I won't go into it. Concentration, rehearsal, talent. Concentration, rehearsal, talent. And that cuts off the fear or the negative emotion at the source and gives me a positive solution because I know and I remember what the solution is off that phrase. So that's one idea for you. Now, once you've deconstructed the lie, you've got to build up and change the momentum. And within my book, Thinking Lies, I talk about the 2 towers of the mind, which is the negative tower and the positive tower. We build up a negative tower with all these small things that happen in our life, add them all together, all these negative things. You lose your car keys, you fail the test, your relationship ends, whatever. You add up all these things over time, but we don't add up the positive things in our life. So how about you try that? How about you get a huge piece of paper, and you stick it on your wall, and every day something positive happens, you write it down, and you build up a positive tower that outweighs and outnumbers the negative tower. That will change the kind of the voice and tone of your thoughts in your head, because instead of overwhelming yourself with negative stuff, you're going to overwhelm yourself with positive stuff. Your brain can't think of anything else, and then you're going to get this sort of positive spirit that comes out of it. So they're the 2 ideas I have for you, and hopefully they're quite helpful. The lies that we tell ourselves can so easily become our truth, so just deconstruct the lie and build up more truths in your life. My name is David Holman. If you change today will change your life. So enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your life. If you're interested in my book, Thinking Lies, if you go into the bio on my Instagram page right now, there's a link to be able to get it, as well as some training videos as well. So it's called the 7-Day Plan. So if you go on my bio on Instagram, you can get that. Or you can DM me or wherever you're commenting from. There'll be a link on that social media page to it. And yeah, that's it. Send in your questions to #selfbeliefg. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, download episodes of the podcast on Spotify and iTunes, and I will see you on episode 42. Cheers.